Filipino American legislator Luz Bay is making her mark in New Hampshire as a strong voice for inclusion, equity, and public service. Now, first elected in 2022, Bay is known for championing education and healthcare, as well as reproductive rights and voting access. Her political involvement began in 2008 when she started volunteering for Democratic campaigns and became active with the Dover Democratic Committee. She later served on the New Hampshire Democratic Party's platform committee before running for office. Bay holds a PhD in educational measurement and statistics and has spent nearly 30 years working in educational assessment. She is also a three-time cancer survivor and describes herself as a pro-choice Catholic.
Let me say it clearly. I am here because I belong here. My constituents in Strafford County District 21 elected me under the same laws with the same legitimacy as anyone in this room. My birthplace does not make me less American. My accent does not disqualify me from public service. And my identity as Filipino American does not make me a guest.
In that video, Bay shared that a Republican colleague told her to go home to the Philippines after she delivered a speech commemorating Philippine Independence Day. In her remarks, she referred to the Philippines as her home country, a statement that prompted another lawmaker to question her right to serve. To talk more about her journey and what drives her work in public service, we have her here in the studio, New Hampshire State Representative Luz Bay. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Matters.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank
you for having me.
To be honest, I was watching that video and I wanted to cheer on for you and defend you, diba?
Yeah, it was actually great because I didn't realize that it went viral, and it went viral among Filipino communities. And there are TV channels such as yours that put it on their own TikTok or Instagram pages. And I woke up the next morning, and my sister's actually visiting me in New Hampshire. And so she woke up and she said, "Oh, my friends are asking me if this was you." And it's like, oh my God, I did not realize. Then I started looking, and I didn't realize there's so much support. There's so much support of me. There's so much support of Filipino Americans, and everybody's cheering on. Yes, that's what you have to say. And making this statement about, unless you're indigenous, you really are immigrant or family of
Indigenous
immigrants.
American,
Indigenous Americans,
Oo,
yeah.
Pare-pareho lang tayo in
Absolutely,
short.
absolutely. So that's the point that was made. So it's like I was speaking the silent part because everybody was thinking it, everybody agrees, at least in my camp, but no one was saying it. So when I said it, everybody was cheering me on. And even my community in Dover, New Hampshire, a lot of people came to me and saying, "Oh my God, that was the best speech that I've ever heard in a while," and I cry every time I hear it. And
It was really good. But tell us more about the context of that speech, no? I mean, moving away from just the lawmaker telling you to go home because of the commemoration of the Philippine Independence Day, have you been long experiencing some form of Asian hate or discrimination?
Not quite, because I have been in the educational assessment field, and believe it or not, because it's a quantitative field, a lot of people are actually Asians. So I am among Asians. Now, as far as there might be systemic discrimination because we work for testing companies, and the higher-ups of the testing companies are not Asians, mostly. So is there a systemic discrimination? Maybe, but in our work, because we're mostly Asians, then we have a lot of cooperation and we get our work done and so forth. But I can say that I have two grown children, and I remember my daughter was telling me that one time she was coal rolled. And I don't know if you're familiar with coal rolling. So some people will rig their trucks so that it'll blow a black smoke to people who are environmental. Like, oh, you're driving by a Prius, and then they'll blow black smoke on the Prius. So one time she was driving a Volvo convertible, and there's nothing, it's not an environmental car, but she was cold rolled, and the only thing that we can think of was actually because she looked Asian. So we don't know. It's a hypothesis.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I myself have experience. I mean, when I went to New York, but that was right after the pandemic in 2022. But that's for a different interview altogether. No, you have had a long experience in educational assessment and
psychometrics.
How does that background help you in your work as a legislator now, and how did that bring you here to where you are?
That's actually.
And what is a state representative? I mean, does it compare to a congressman, a congresswoman here in the Philippines?
Yes, it's actually so because it's a federal government. So you are familiar with the U.S. Congress, where every state sends in their 2 senators to Congress. That makes it 50 U.S. senators, and then there are 435 U.S. congressmen. And so each state sent to the U.S.
to the national government,
their own representatives. Like if you have a smaller population state like New Hampshire, you have 2. If you're a bigger state like California, then you have like 118 or something
similar
like that.
Similar to the Philippines.
Yes, but each state will have a similar government. So in my state of New Hampshire, we also have the governor, Supreme Court, and then we have a Senate and House of Representatives. So it's like similar to a congressman, but for a state. So that's the office that I hold.
And how does your background help you in your work? I mean, how did you end up being a legislator?
Well, that's really interesting, because I thought that my being psychometrician for 30 years will help me, but it's actually. I'm finding out that the only relationship that my work and my work in the House is, the 2 endeavors in American society that involves bubbling in a piece of paper is educational testing and election.
Yeah, but yun ang pinaka-connection lang.
Right. I actually, so my advocacy is sort of separate. My advocacy and my political career is sort of separate from my academic or corporate career. The only thing is my corporate career is actually I have flexibility.
Correct.
So that I can serve in the House, because unlike so it's different for different states. In the state of New Hampshire, our service is actually voluntary. We don't get paid as
that's why you're allowed to
politicians.
work. Okay, what are you advocating for?
Okay. So when I first ran, the 3 things I have on my platform are education, women's health care, and election law, or right to vote. But then one of the things that happened is, you try to help people where they are. As a Filipino, we're always like trying to be helpful. We have the mentality of kapwa, and you have to help whenever you can. So I was fine. Like, for example, advocacy for small businesses was not in my platform, but then I have a constituent who came to me because they own a Chinese restaurant, and they're getting there's a fraud or scam about to happen. And so they asked me for help. And so I went to the Secretary of State, and then I ended up actually sponsoring a bill to prevent fraud and scam of small and medium-sized businesses. And actually, it just became law.
Wow,
the governor signed it. Yes, but it's one of those things that, I was intending to do this. I was thinking I'm going to be helpful this way, but this is where people need help. So that's where I'll be.
But how were you able to get yourself elected? I mean, how was the campaign? It seems to me that people are more empowered at the individual level in the United States with its form of government. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, it's like basically you can run for office whoever you are. I think in the Philippines, you feel like you can run for office
kailangan sikat ka
in your family or families of politicians, and I'm not. Obviously, I'm the only one here in my family. But there is something that I want to do that I feel like I can contribute to. And so what really pushed me, so when I got involved and I'm on the platform committee of my state's Democratic Party, and then so I became aware of the political situation. And then something that happened that actually pushed me over the edge was the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And during that, the Supreme Court of the United States said that this type of laws are going to have to be taken care of at the state level.
Abortion, right?
Yes, the abortion rights. And it needs to be taken care of at the state level. And then I thought, oh, so if this is going to be taken care of and fought for at the state level, then I'm going to the state, and that's where I'm going to fight. Because I think bodily autonomy is important to me. Like you, man, woman, LGBTQ, you have the right to your own body. You cannot be told what you, or the government should not be telling you what you can and can't do with your
Hence
body.
your pro-choice stance,
I'm a pro-choice
right?
Catholic, yes.
Okay, a Republican president just won. How are things for Filipinos in the United States?
Yeah, that's actually tricky because one thing that I was finding out, especially when my video went viral, there are MAGA Filipinos, and yes, and they're supportive of
The immigration policies.
oh yeah, and they don't think that it will happen to them, and actually it happens to everyone.
Even if you have your papers?
Yes, and actually there was someone, he's a school superintendent in the state of Vermont. He went home to his home in Guatemala. On his way back, he was held and interrogated for hours, even with his own papers. And even me coming here, my son, who's a third-year law student, was actually, Mommy, I'm really concerned about you going to the Philippines. You might not be able to come back. And I said, you know, I'm a citizen and I have my papers. It's like, I have my passport book, I have my passport card, I have my global entry. And he said, I talked to the immigration lawyer in my firm, and he said, whatever certification that you have to show that you're a citizen, you should also bring that. I'm like, oh, so I was naturalized in 2002, so I have to look for my just to make my son feel comfortable. Is to bring that, because it is happening to.
So how
to
are
everyone.
you taking care of the Filipino community there and pushing back on this? I mean, it does need to have its boundaries in terms of implementation.
Right. And actually, it's not just the Filipino communities. It's everyone, the whole immigrant population. So for all the Democratic representatives in New Hampshire, we're all in this together. So right now, they're actually put some immigration agents who will go to like a Mexican restaurant and then start arresting people, whether they're citizens or non-citizens, or some people who are doing their reporting to the immigration office. And when they report, they just arrest them. So we have to be vigilant. So we actually try to send our people and send the ACLU lawyers and state representatives are there alerting everyone. And for me, you know, I have alerted all my congressmen and my senators that I'm here, and if I get in trouble coming in, I'm calling them.
I forgot, this was supposed to be my first question, pero bakit ho kayo nandito?
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Pa ba kayo manangalog? Galing kayo Batangas, ano?
Oo. Pero actually, I'm here, and I have to say that the previous guest was talking about sauna.
Yes.
I didn't listen to sauna because I was jet lagged and I was sleeping. But EdCom2 recommendations, they released this list of EdCom2 recommendations, and may I read it? Because the second bullet said, review the Department of Education's learning remediation program and ensure proper targeting, prompt support, and proper assessment of students that require urgent intervention with a focus on those lacking foundation competencies. And my friends are actually here, and they are edupreneurs, and they are trying to help the Philippines to change the way that students learn, and to measure the actual change requires proper assessment. And I have that expertise, and I'd like to give back because this country has given so much to me.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
Thank you.
And happy to know that you're fighting for, I mean, two sides, right?
Yes.
You being an American now and still being very much a Filipino. And
Absolutely.
it could go together.
And that's
very well.
actually, you know, when we go to the United States and we become citizens, we don't give up being Filipinos. We don't give up our culture. We actually bring it to assimilate the culture to make it part of the American diaspora. And, you know, because we're all in this together. We're citizens of the world.
Now let that go viral. Okay, maraming salamat sa'yo thank you so much for joining us today. We have Representative Luz Bay from New Hampshire sharing with us her journey.